to Brew It too. I think I feel like a little bit like I'm pointing at the ceiling. Can I just adjust that slightly? Can I just adjust? That's better. That's better. So here we are again, people. Here we are again on a Tuesday afternoon. And my have we got? Let me just stop this. My have we got a packed agenda for you today? And the only thing I've got to say, delving into my little back bag, this is super special, this one, for June, because I know June is partial to a bit of toilet talk, and this week we have a lot of toilet talk to share with you. We also have other things. We have jokes. We've got a new book. And we've got lots of things to share with you, so I'm all set for a giddy half hour. I'll be honest. So I feel like I've got a hair in my mouth, or it might be a rabbit. It's a hair. So toilet talk beyond the 2 o'clock watershed, exactly. So, good afternoon to everybody. If you're new here, where have you been all our life? If you're a regular, welcome back, because we're all friends together on Brew It too. I'm going to start coughing. That's timing, isn't it? Just a second. She's got a bit of a tickle. So, if you're new, oh, she's managed to crack back from work. You'll like this one, Joan. If you're new here, don't forget to make sure that you've done all the subscriber sign up, pay bells and all that kind of stuff, because that's what helps our little channel to grow. And grow indeed it has done. We've ended up with quite a big following, which is fabulous. And then of course we've got Brew It 2 on a Tuesday. I'm laughing already. Excuse me again. That's better. So don't forget to make sure that you've joined our Brew It 2 Facebook group. And on there, we've already had one or two funny moments. If you're on Facebook, you've got no excuse. Join up and you can share your chat, ask your questions. It's also where I'll be posting things before the show goes live and asking questions like, do you want a shout out this week? Do you want anything answering? Do you want any, what do you think to this? What do you think to that? So it's going to be well worth joining in. We've got 63, I think, already. Just a minute, let me check. Just a minute. I thought it was on my computery thing, and it's not. Brew at all chat. Yes, we've got 64 members, 65 in fact, because there's one waiting. So that's I can't guarantee it'll be quite as entertaining as Brew It 2 is, but we'll do our best. So, bats, why are we bats? Well, we've got our Brew It 2 mugs, and there aren't any new bats this week to welcome to the bat map. This is the bat map. So everybody on here has their own bat map. June's got 67. Have you managed that, June? I've got 64 and one waiting on mine. Anyway, so, or are we just all talking at cross purposes, because that's kind of par for course, isn't it? But we do have a big well done and a round of applause for one of our regular bats. Is Mrs. Elaine Smith in the house today? Elaine Smith, are you there? Come on down. Elaine Smith is, well, I've known Elaine for quite a long time. She's lovely. And she's often called Mrs. Blackpool, and she's been given the Blackpool Medal Award. So very well done, Elaine, and very well deserved as well. And that's in recognition of all the stuff that she's done in Blackpool throughout the years, and all the work that she's done in the town, because she's a star. And she's a bat. She's on the map somewhere. If I knew where. Where is she? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can see her. See if we can spot her. She's definitely there. I know she's definitely there, but I just can't see it at the minute. So that's that one. So I thought we'd kick off the afternoon with one or two jokes to get us into the mood before we move on to the afternoon's main entertainment. The afternoon's main entertainment. So I've got one or two here. Richard says he's just got back from town and it's 10% discount for over 60s day. Where's that, Richard? Is that in Blackpool or Cleveland? Because that's a new one on me. I can't say that I've ever heard of that one. So jokes, right? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let me find my piece of paper. So my wife and I had words, but I didn't get to use mine. That's not really a joke, is it? I need teapot and training here for these, don't I? Really? That's another story which I shall come on to in a minute. Frustration is trying to find your glasses without your glasses. That's very true. Every morning is the dawn of a new era. It is if you live here. And the irony of life is that by the time you're old enough to know your way around, you're not going anywhere. Which is also very, very true. Very true. So we shall move on without any more of ado to the main entertainment for this afternoon's show, which is of course toilet talk. Now I've been diving into the cupboard to pull something out which I'm going to show to you in a moment, but I thought we'd just warm up the conversation. Yeah, my favourite word is definitely so, Paul. Every sentence starts with either so or well or right. It kind of follows. Oh, I didn't know that. Keith says Iceland is shopping for pensioners. 10% off on Tuesdays only. There you go, you heard it here first. So just to start to warm you up on the subject of toilets, here's meme number one. Did you know line dancing was started by women, I'm trying to read this through the paper, waiting to use the bathroom? So there you go, that's number one. That kind of sets the scene slightly. And then I thought this one was quite funny. I think it was called a Dill that sent these in. I ate 4 cans of alphabet soup and had probably the biggest bowel movement ever. What number do you think that scores on the Bristol Stool chart? Shall we put that one down at ooh, I think that could be a type 2. I think that could be a type 2, that one, couldn't it? I'll put that down for a type 2. And here's another one. Spring is here. I'm so excited I wet my plants. That's for you, that one, Keith. That's for you. So anyway, toilet talk number one. It's been a week of toilets. Scott's just asked about the bank holiday, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let me write it down because I'll have forgotten by the time I've told you about this. There you go. Yeah, Scott's just asked about the Jubilee weekend. I'll tell you all about that slightly later. So our little Muffin, Muffin often focuses. He's the one on that comes on the videos when I do videos with Chrissy, because as soon as yes, we're getting bogged down with toilet talk, Matt. As soon as he sees us getting the microphone and the camera and getting organised, and when Chrissy gets up and moves off the chair that she normally sits on and comes and sits at our side of the living room, he gets all excited and he starts flapping and carrying on, and then he gets up and comes to sit with us. I'm still feeling like I'm talking to the top of my head. Would you just mind awfully if I just did a little adjustment, a little on-air adjustment? If I just spread the legs on the tripod slightly. Oh, gone all over wobbly. Gone all over wobbly because I feel like you're talking to the top of my head. I'm still talking to the top of my head, aren't I? Should have done this before we came on air, shouldn't I? Really. So you don't get this problem with the BBC, do you? They just tell you a load of rubbish. That's better. That's better. Oh, I still feel discombobulated. I feel like I need to be sat higher up in the air. Just a minute. Just a minute. It's that sort of slight OCD strike in me. In my mind. Keith knows what I mean. That's better. Oh, right, I'll stop moving now. So Muffin is usually on the videos and Coco lays at the other side of the room and just goes to sleep and pays absolutely no attention to what's happening around him. So Coco's not been very well. Coco's got quite a lot wrong with him. He's got a very bad heart murmur like Chrissy. And he's a little old man. He's a little old man. So he's taken, I think I've told you this before, would you believe Viagra? And it's stabilised him, touch wood, and he's not being bad at all. He's been quite good. Anyway, we go through these phases where he won't eat and he gets an upset tummy and it's obvious he's not right. So last week, just after we'd done Brew at 2, actually, I think it might have even been Tuesday, he got diarrhoea. So there's all this frothy brown diarrhoea sort of floating all over the place. So that night when he went to bed, T-Boy covered all the floor in front of the door with dust sheets. So we have Muffin as a mat. We have a dust sheet that we put in front of the door when it's wet, so that when they're coming in and out, they dry their feet on this cloth. But Muffin loves that dust sheet, so it's ended up becoming a permanent fixture. So he lays on it and it's his sort of like little mat. It's his little mat. So he'd open that out and put it on the floor, and then they have another one that if they're eating anything messy, we just put it underneath the bowls, because you've never seen a mess like it when Coco eats a meal. It's like we always sing, we plough the fields and scatter, because it takes every piece of food and scatters it to the 4 corners of the room. Is a right messy little thing. So we've got these 2 dust sheets stretched out onto the floor, and being dust sheets, they're not perfect, you know, they're all curtains, and there's a hole that big in the dust sheet. I kid you not, it was that big. So I came in the morning after and there were splots all over the dust sheet. And would you believe, in a hole that big, it actually managed to get poo dead centre, right in the middle, straight onto the carpet. If anybody's watching this and not listening to the soundtrack, they'll be wondering what I'm doing. And I thought, well, you can't credit that. Talk about bullseye. So there am I at 5 o'clock in the morning with my knife and the thing, and I'm scraping it all up. Caroline wants to know how to join the Bat Gang. If you want to be an official bat, you can get your Brew at 2 mug online, and the link's underneath in the description under the video, and everybody can join the Facebook group. You don't have to do anything weird, you don't have to pay, it's free, it's for everybody that watches. So that kind of started that one off. So it's getting to be a bit of a routine, this sort of early morning clean up. So that was that. So this sort of diarrhea story carried on for a little while, and then Brew at 2's about anything that we want to talk about, Matt. So then on Sunday we have I've got a confession to make. First of all, we do have 1 or 2 toilets at Rabbit Towers. This house sort of grew as we grew, as it were. So when we bought it, we literally didn't have anything in it. There was no bathroom. I mean, there's room for a bathroom, but there was no bathroom suite. There was no kitchen. There was nothing. Little upstairs shower room. So I think, if I remember rightly, there was an actual electric shower fastened to the wall, but no shower tray or door or curtain or anything like that. No toilet. So we inherited literally the walls. So we'd got a bathroom and a toilet in the original house, and then this bit that I'm in now is an extension that we added some years later because we knew we were going to come and live here. So being greedy, we put another bathroom down here. So we've got plenty of bathrooms. We like bathrooms. So the bathroom down here has got some cupboards in it. So on Sunday morning, I'd gone to put some clean towels away and was on my haunches, bent down in the bathroom with the little pile of towels on my knee, chuntering to myself when I went in the cupboard because T-boy in training, being the untidy beast that he is, had shoved stuff all over. So there were you know, we've got bath towels on one pile and little towels on another pile, and they were all over the place. So I was straightening them out. So I was there at a low level near to the floor, probably for the longest time. Oh, thanks, Matt. Matt's given me a donation for some new sheets. Thank you. You'll be passing that around for me in a minute when I do tell you this story. So I'm sort of like at a low level, bent down, putting all this stuff in this cupboard. So I'm only there, I bet, a minute, 2 minutes at most. And I thought, well, I'll not tell you what I thought, but I thought, something's dead down here. This smell is awful. You know when they said that, you know when they said that you're supposed to, when your boyfriend's left you, you're supposed to sew prawns into the lining of his curtains and leave them to rot, so because he's got this smell that you can't actually find. It smelt a bit like that. It smelt like the Great Fleetwood stink that you're probably familiar with if you've ever been round the sort of dock area. So I thought, before I start squirting, because my next job I was going to clean up. So I thought, before I start squirting bathroom cleaner and dousing bleach and whatnot, I better go and consult with T-boy in training and make sure that he doesn't want to come and smell at this smell. So off I went. Hark, I hear feet. Which T-boy is that? It's the big one. Can tell by the feet. The big T-boy walks a lot more slowly. Yes, Aldo. Have you never heard that one? That's what it's as old as the hills, that one. Sewing prawns into the curtain lining. Hello, T-boy. I'm just getting onto the good bit.
Hello, folks. It's a shame it wasn't smelly vision.
You'd have been a smelly vision yesterday.
You could have stood at the end of the prom and smelt it.
In fact, it's a wonder we're still here to tell the tale. So I went and found T-boy in training and I said to him, Kevin, I said, there's a very funny smell in the bathroom. Would you like to come and smell at it before I start dousing cleaning stuff round and cover it up? And he went, I know, I've smelt it.
You were hoping it was going to go away.
So obviously it's a bathroom, so we've got tiles down on the floor, so that kind of complicates things somewhat. So I said to him, I think you ought to take the carpet up outside our bedroom door, because there's a corridor outside our bedroom door, and have a look under the floor and see what you can see. So let me just open this window. The anticipation of the punchline is making me feel rather warm. It is very mild though today, isn't it? So I trundled down the corridor and took the carpet thing up and pulled the carpet back and had a look underneath. So when he looked underneath, it was yesterday. It was Monday. So you might remember me saying that yesterday it was our it was our wedding anniversary yesterday. So we've been married for 30 blissful years.
Never a wrong word.
Never a wrong word.
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah,
says
yeah.
yes.
He hasn't been allowed to.
What did I say? My wife and I had words, but I didn't get to use mine. This story is not half as funny as it would have been if he'd have been here, but he's busy. I can hear him clattering about, so he'll not be long as he's here. So yesterday morning, as you know, we have Sainsbury's delivered online. I actually went to Aldi a fortnight ago. I'm digressing now. I went to Aldi a fortnight ago on a Friday afternoon, and I found out why I buy my shopping online, because by the time I finished with 5 great big shopping bags full of really heavy shopping, my back was killing me. And I felt like I'd been run over by a truck. So I walked in and said, right, that's it. As I said, blissful, I picked the fly swatter up, I picked my fan up. I said, that's it. I know now why we buy our shopping online. So I'd cocked up, and we usually have it delivered on a Tuesday, as you know, because it used to arrive in the middle of Road 2, didn't it? And I'd ordered it for Monday for some bizarre reason. I must have had a blonde moment. So I'm sat in the living room working, and Kevin's still snoring. So I sent him a message and said, because I was going out early, on Facebook, and said, happy anniversary, the shopping's coming today. I've ordered it the wrong day. So he sent me a message back and he said, happy anniversary, I've just looked under the carpet. Wrote me a poem. Are you ready? I'm going to read this to you. It's a lovely poem. I tell you, you don't have to be stoned by me to live here, but it don't half help. So, right, so I said, happy anniversary, Sainsbury's are coming today, must have had a senior moment. So he said, happy anniversary, I lifted the carpet outside the bedroom this morning. Are we done with the surprises? So I'm sat there chortling to myself. So he said, nothing dead, but I could do with your stool chart. He says, luckily it's a leak and nothing I can swim in. Now I couldn't work out whether it meant nothing he could swim in because it was too odious, or nothing he could swim in because it wasn't deep enough. So yeah, so there you go. So anyway, he wrote me a poem. Next message that comes next time my phone tings, he just written me a poem. He's still snoring at this point. And I think this is sung to the tune of Happy Birthday to You.
I'll try.
So it says, happy anniversary to you, early shopping and pool. Jane's out at Trevor's and Kev's up to the Nevers. So I thought that were really romantic. I thought that were a lovely start to a birthday, an anniversary, especially, you know, 30 years. And I mean, it's a long time, isn't it? You could have committed murder twice and got out. So I go trundling off to my meeting at Trevor's, which is another story for another day. And then when I came back in, he's up to his eyes and ears in the bathroom. He's got the toilet off the wall. He's got a hole cut in the floor. We've got a pond vac that we use for cleaning the crap out of the pond filter in the bottom of the pond and whatnot. So he's got the pond vac in the bathroom. And he's hoovering with the pond vac. All I can say is it's a good job that we got a pond vac, because he's using the pond vac to hoover underneath the floor. And this is why I've been writing in the back of the thing, because that is what he found underneath the floor. This is what he found underneath the floor. Apparently the sewage pipe connecting, it's a lovely one that, isn't it? The sewage pipe connecting the toilet to the sewage pipe had got a gap in it that wide. So the unicorn dust that had gone down the toilet had all ended up in the floor void. So that, folks, is how we ended up spending the afternoon of his wedding anniversary. Not a bad one, that, is it? Not a bad one at all. And I'm sure he would have made that sound a hell of a lot more funny than I did. But I tell you, the house stunk to the high heaven.
We had every window and every
We
door
had every window and every door open. And it turned out that the guy that had fitted it, you know, when you put screws, you use a nail gun to put screws in, and you end up with that like cartridge thing left that's got screws in. It used a piece of that to fasten the sewage pipe to the underneath of the floorboard. So at some point it's come disconnected, and it's gone bang into the, because there's quite a deep void underneath our floor. So it's come disconnected and it's fallen into the bottom of the floor void and part of company with the sewage pipe. So I would like to finish that story on a little joke. A little joke which I saw the day after, and I thought that Facebook had been reading my mind. Does it bother you when your fur is dirty with poo? Says Bear to Rabbit. No, says Rabbit. And then Bear uses Rabbit to wipe his bum. So I thought that was quite funny. Do you like that? Do you like that look?
Very good. Yeah.
I think we might pin that one on the wall. We'll save that one. So that's that. Anyway, moving on to our wedding anniversary. Jackie sent me a thing. She said, happy anniversary. I thought I would send you something to mark the occasion. So she sent me, the printer was running out a bit when I got to this one. Marriage is like a deck of cards. In the beginning, all you need is 2 hearts and a diamond. By the end of it, you wish you had a club and a spade. I bet Kevin wished he'd got a club and a spade yesterday. I bet he did. I bet he did. And then just to finally finish the story of the anniversary off. Remember, relationship tip for men. When a woman says, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't do it. But, I did that completely wrong, didn't I? Rewind. Relationship tip for men. When a woman says, correct me if I am wrong, but don't do it. It's a trap. Don't do it. It's a trap. Do not correct her. That's very true. That's very true. In fact, I think I perhaps ought to give that to Kevin, didn't I? When he comes upstairs. So I thought that was a lovely way to spend an anniversary. So we knew that I was going to a meeting, and we knew that it was a Monday and it was going to be a busy day and all that kind of stuff. So we'd said some weeks earlier, we'll have a Chinese for tea, because we know how to live. We know how to live. We do here at Rabbit Towers. So Kevin said, I'd rather have some toast.
Can't face it after all that.
Can't face it after all that. I said, did you recognise any of it? I tell you, we don't half know how to live. I don't think he'll be long. He's banging about downstairs. So I've got, I think he might be in the bathroom.
He's always in the bathroom.
He's always in the bathroom. Anyway, my new book. It's quite interesting, this, actually. I've flicked through it, and some of the things that are in it are a bit, well, very highbrow. They're very highbrow. Eric might be alright. He might be able to answer the questions, but I think the rest of us, mere mortals, are a bit stuck. But I quite like this one. I quite like this one. Where does it go? Everyday items. And I don't know the answer to this. The answer's on page 193. So if we don't fathom it out by the end of the show, I will look at page 193 and we'll have a look at the answer. In 1596, Englishman Sir John Harrington built his what's considered to be the first modern one. The Romans had shared ones. In fact, I think, do you know what I've done? I've inadvertently. A 2,000-year-old one was found in a Han Chinese archaeological site, and there were versions in ancient Egypt, the Indus Valley cities, and Stone Age Orkney. What were they? And you're never going to believe it, but I'm sure somebody can work out. I literally opened this book like I do the joke book randomly, and I think I've picked the one thing. Yes, exactly, Bruce. I've picked the one thing that we've just been talking about. Is that not weird? Is that not weird?
You're a witch.
I'm a witch. I've got my bats. All I need is me. It's toilets, Eric. I bet it's toilets. Somebody look it up. 1596, Englishman Sir John Harrington built what is considered to be the first modern one. The Romans shared them. The Romans definitely shared toilets. I know that much. 2,000-year-old one found in a Han Chinese archaeological site.
Yeah.
Versions in Egypt, in Indus Valley and Stone Age Orkney. And I've seen that, you know, that thing in Orkney where you can see that full place. I've seen that now. I bet you any money that's toilets. Page 193, we'll have a look before we've finished. In fact, I'll have a look now. Because I want to know the answer. Everyday items. Yes! There you go. Boom, boom. It's toilets. It's got to be toilets. Wherever we are, it's got the answer to every question has got to be toilets. So, moving on. Oh, here he comes.
Have you all done yet?
No, we just finished about toilets. If you'd like to come and add anything.
Finished?
Nearly. If you'd like to come and add anything.
Just a minute, I want to wait.
I think it might be. He's going to make a grand entrance in a moment, I can tell. Yes, here he comes. Drum roll and fanfare. Drum roll if you please.
I'm going for a game of golf. I've been for a game of golf. It's a long time since I played golf, in actual fact. So long I've repurposed my golf bag. Are you ready? So, it's a full set of clubs. It's a full set of clubs. So here we have the suction iron. That comes in really handy.
Have you cleaned them since yesterday?
I've not cleaned them. I've got to clean them because, and then I've got my curler because my hair's growing. And that's my curling brush.
Where did I find
For those really tough jobs, you know what that's for, don't you? And then if you want to seal it up, into sealant. And of course you've got those tricky round the bend moments, and I find that they work best. I'm not daft, mate, you know. Not daft.
And he's got his gloves on.
I've got my gloves. I've got my golf gloves. And of course my golf shoes. When you're knee high, they come in very handy. So, I'm taking orders. I'm taking orders. If anybody else has got the same problem as me, I'm your man. Yes.
Oh dear.
No job be too small. That's what I say.
Elaine says, can you make a set for Mark?
Yeah. Yeah. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you.
Yeah. 18 holes. Bye.
I've got no idea they were going to do that. I kid you not. There is never a dull moment. There is never a dull moment with him. Let me gather myself together. Let me gather myself together. Oh dear me. Sean says a good marriage is reliant on a lady's forgiveness and a sense of humour, according to my missus anyway. Exactly. I agree with your missus completely, Sean. I agree with your missus completely. Where did I find him? He's definitely round the bend, Connie. Where did I find him? I found him at school. And it all went downhill from there. Oh dear, talk about laugh. Anyway, I had a very funny moment of my own this week, because you might not think it's funny, but I thought it was quite funny. I really need him here to make this even funnier still. We'll do scams while we're waiting for Kevin to turn back up, because yes, and the Jubilee stuff as well. So last week, T-Boy in Training shouts to me, "Oh, 19,700,000,000. And I said, "Oh, did you get one as well?" Because I don't think he's that many. "Oh, we've got a newbie. Hello, UK medic. Yeah, are you a proper medic or are you a pretend medic? Because if you're a proper medic, oh, I bet you've got some good stories to share. I bet you could tell us a tale, couldn't you?" Yes, Eric met his missus on Visit FYLDE Coast. Not quite sure what I've walked into. Well, UK Medic, normally we do things like, Blackpool seafront and what's on the beach and that kind of thing. But on a Tuesday, we just get a little bit silly. So you're very welcome to join us. It's our regular little bit of childish entertainment, shall we say. It's our VFC is us, Sean. Visit FYLDE Coast. Shorthand for people that can't bother to type. So it's got 2 emails, and we're going to do a vote. We're going to do a vote on this because I couldn't decide whether it counted as the best part of 40 million or 20 million. So you're going to decide. So you've got 2 emails which have both come from different email addresses, but they're both the same email and they're both the same amount of money. So they both say exactly the same thing. I've got the total sum of 19,700,000 in the intent of the deceased client, and if I send them my details, they will release the fund to me. So what do you think? Do you think that's 2 scams when it comes from 2 separate emails, or is it 1 scam because it's quite clearly duplicated? So do we need to add 1 lot of 20 million, or shall we add 2? Shall we have 2? Which do you prefer? Which should you prefer? No, I don't want to talk about the FYLDE Coast on Tuesday. Not much anyway, just a little bit. So we'll call that one Alexander. Two, 1? I think it's 1. I think it's 1 lot of 19 million. Oops, I'm putting that in wrong list. And just for the benefit of the UK medic, we've been taking the mickey out of scammers all year. So we started off at the beginning of the year, and we're up to 33,719,000 plus today's, and we're going to share it out when we've finished, you see. But the point is that by talking about this every week, it reminds people to be careful when they get stuff, texts, emails, messages, etc., that they don't click on something that they shouldn't do, because there's so scam stuff doing the rounds, and there's £150 rebate things, there's energy scams, there's every scam you can imagine. So you just need to think twice and click once. Think twice and click once. Yeah, we like talking about pool. Yeah, and there's monkeypox now, isn't there? Yeah. Apparently the media are making it sound like monkeypox is practically bubonic plague, when in actual fact the one that's circulating in Britain is sort of pimples and feeling a bit not well. So, you know, usual again. Oh, Jay's vlog says it's a big fan. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. T-Boy!
Come in.
Oh, he's here. He's here. I'm just going to tell them the story of Miss Piggy. And I needed you here to do that.
Okay.
I needed you here to do that. So, you know how I keep saying I'm a witch?
Yeah. You couldn't have done this yesterday without one of these, could you?
No.
I knew there was something missing.
No. You know how I keep saying I'm a witch? Well, I've got quite a penchant for these little Lego things. So, the other day, I'd picked this up while I was in B&M, and I just couldn't resist it. So they come in a little, what?
Sorry.
What?
No, you do that first.
What? They come in a little plastic bag, and you've no idea what's in it. And you've got to sort of like feel at them and decide which one they are. So I sort of felt at a few and then picked one, and I said to Kevin, as I cut it open, as I cut the top of the bag open, I want it to be a Miss Piggy. And lo and behold, when I opened it, it was Miss Piggy. So they're the ones that it could have been. So I did quite well there, didn't I? Yes, I've hung him out to dry, Sean. So the one I want next is Kermit. I need Kermit next.
No, what I was going to say, have you said congratulations to Elaine?
I have. I started the show with congratulations to
is it
Elaine.
Miss Blackpool she's won?
No, she's won the Blackpool medal.
Blackpool medal?
Yeah. And just while we're talking about your super duper medal, Elaine is also, in fact, drum roll, another one. I don't know whether you caught that at the beginning of the show, Elaine. But we started off with a big congratulations for you with your medal, and Elaine is also an MBE. So we've got Blackpool Royalty watching with us. Blackpool Royalty is part of our gang. And the other thing I'd like to say is how jolly good of Blackpool Council to acknowledge people like you that have done such a lot of lovely things.
Absolutely.
I'll say no more at that point. Moving on swiftly back to Miss Piggy. So there I was, and I put Miss Piggy at the side of my thing, and there she is. She sat there all over looking at me. So you might have seen that I did a fish and chip Friday at the Sea. I always think it's a bit of an odd name, that. The Sea. It's the right hand side of the Winter Gardens in Blackpool. So there was a comment left. We've come to the conclusion that I might have got a bit of an admirer. So this comment reads, you might have actually seen it. The fish and chips were lovely. Really enjoyed the meal. Apart from we decided that it was either non-brewed condiment or they'd watered the vinegar down because it was a little bit... You don't want me singing fish and chip songs, sure. You'd clear the shop. So somebody put a comment on the end of it, and I'm going to act this out as I read it. I've got the comment here. So they said, watered down vinegar can make or break a chippy. Great vid, Jane. One minor suggestion. If at the end you would have done a slow-mo of unleashing your hair bun, doing a toss, I think you might look like that, and adjusting your glasses, the subs would quadruple. So at that point, I read it out to Kevin, and he nearly wet himself laughing. And I said, the only person I can see and think of is Miss Piggy. So then Kevin said, am I the only person who noticed?
So instead of doing this beautiful flick of the hair, she actually burped at the end of the video.
Well, I've been drinking Fanta. I don't normally drink fizzy pop. Because I find it's too fizzy. It's too fizzy. And I sort of went at the end of the video. And the other thing I thought was that if number one, it's only been down 5 seconds and I'm getting hot already. And number two, can you just imagine me doing that in the middle of a chip shop? I'd end up falling off my chair.
Bad neck.
Yeah. Oh, my neck. Oh, my neck. I've creaked my neck. My neck. So I thought that was funny. I thought it was really funny. Yeah, so anyway, moving on to something.
Flattering, but consider her age.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It is very flattering, but consider her age. Oh dear me, laugh. Talk about laugh. So anyway, to be a little bit more sensible, somebody asked about the Jubilee events. And yes, somebody else mentioned that there's a tram parade. So there's a day of entertainment in Blackpool that starts, I think it's the Jubilee tram parade that starts it. And then there's a picnic on Tower Festival Headland. And then after tea into evening, they're doing fireworks and something off the tower. So it's kind of like, you know, come to Blackpool and stand at the front of the tower and you'll find a party kind of thing. No, I can't be sensible, Christine. Do I have to? But there are things happening pretty much everywhere except Cleveland's. Largely because I have not organised anything. Well, me and my merry little band of troops. So it's St Anne's Carnival weekend. It's St Anne's Carnival weekend. It's there's a big Jubilee event in Fleetwood. There's things happening all over the place. But by far and away, the best way to find out what's happening is to make sure that you've signed up for your email newsletter, because on Visit FYLDE Coast we have a huge fisherman's tale. We have a huge events calendar that's got literally everything and it's anti on it. So anything that's kind of worth going to is on there. So if you'll get your email newsletter, all you need to do is to go to, it's on the website, visitfylecoast.info/newsletter, and then you can sign up for it. So it goes out twice a week now. It used to go out once a week on a Tuesday, but now there are 2 editions. So the midweek one is general stuff, interesting information, news about what's coming sort of weeks in front. And then the weekend one is what's on that weekend. So there's suggestions for things to do and what's on, and then an events list at the end of it. So it's a great way to plan your time, great way to plan what you want to do and what you want to see. The link for that's underneath as well. So I think that's the silliness over and done with. In fact, no, Kevin,
Hello.
come here.
Again.
Yes, I've got something for Kevin. Where's it gone? I've lost it. I've got stuff all over here. I've got something for you, my sweet.
Oh, it's not one of those jokes I don't understand again, is it?
No, it's not a joke that I don't
Go on,
understand again, but I'd like you to read that out to the people.
I can't read.
Come on.
Did you read out that scam thing that
Yes.
I sent you? Right. It's like my mum always told me, you might not be the dumbest guy in the world, but you better hope he doesn't die.
You can keep that.
30 long years and a day. I'm not counting.
It's the day that makes all the difference. Just walked into it, didn't it? And I've got a joke here for you, Kevin.
Oh, don't make me get up again.
No, not make you get up. Just listen. Are you listening?
Yes.
God made man before woman so as to give him time to think of an answer for her first question. That's a good one for all you men out there, isn't it? God made man before woman so as to give him time to think of an answer to her first question. Very true, very true. Anyway, right, so we're on to birthdays now, and then I do believe we've nearly done. That's been the fastest hour of when. So, Sezzy, are you with us, Sezzy? Sezzy, we've discovered, is actually Sarah. Sezzy, are you there? Is anybody there? Knock 3 times if the answer's yes. Knock twice if the answer's no. Sezzy has just moved to Blackpool. Is that not exciting? Is that not exciting? Round of applause. Round of applause for Sezzy. So she's all moved in, and I would imagine, because I believe she moved at the end of last week. I would imagine she sat on the settee, nursing a headache with a cup of tea in one hand and probably something stronger in the other, trying to recover from the ordeal of moving. And on complete contrast, UK Medic, you're having us on, helicopters firing up. Are you really one of them? Are you? Or are you pulling my leg? Because I tell you, I fall for most things quite easily. And by complete contrast to all this new, all this ridiculousness and silliness and whatnot, to finish on a shout out to Russ, because his partner his long-standing partner is very ill. She's in hospital, and she's not well at all. So we're going to send plenty of that goodwill and healing to your partner, Russ, and hope that she gets better soon. So, couple of birthdays, and Phil asked me if I'd enjoyed my walk in Poulton yesterday. Now, I realise some of you might have perhaps wondered where Poulton actually is. Well, if the sea's that way, Poulton's sort of that way. It's on the way back to the motorway. It's only 10 minutes from Cleveland's. It's a little market town which was originally the trading town of this area. And yesterday morning, the Duke of Lancaster's regiment were parading because they've been given the freedom of the borough of Wyre. So I'd been to a meeting, as I said, yesterday morning, practically in Poulton. So I thought, well, I'm just about here, I might as well go and film it. And you know, it was really good. The video's on YouTube. I put it on yesterday. So there were quite a lot of army people. Did a proper ceremonial march all the way around the because it's pedestrianised in the centre, so the march around the road, the ring road around the edge. And it was a really nice event, really good. So it was something different, something I've never seen before. I did know it was going to be on. So yeah. So that was that. Anyway, we've got 2 birthdays. We've got 2 birthdays this week. So we've got Alice, who is Terry Burkett's granddaughter. So happy birthday to Alice. And it is Stephen Hunt's birthday on the 29th of May. And Stephen lives in Chesterfield. It's Alice's birthday on the 25th. It's 25th. So you might have just seen me pick my book up. I thought we'd just have a joke before we finish. Just to finish the afternoon off. Questions and answers. Oh, we can't do them there, bit rude. How long do you want your nails? A man walks into a hardware shop and says, I'd like some nails, please. Okay, says the assistant. How long do you want them? Well, says the man, I was hoping I could keep them. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? I've lost my pencil. Do you know, I look like I'm building a nest down here. I've got that much stuff on my desk. I can't find anything. I can't find anything. That one I'll have to do. That one I'll have to do. So that's that one. Next, the wrong suit for the funeral. An old lady is preparing to bury her husband. The funeral director shows her the body laid out. She says, oh, you've got him in a blue suit, and I specifically requested to have him buried dressed in brown. Okay, says the funeral director, we'll get that sorted out for you. As soon as the lady has gone, the funeral director yells, hey, Eddie, swap the heads on numbers 2 and 4. Sick. I've not read that before I read it out. Oh dear, you don't have to have much money, do you? But we do have life. What's the difference between a Scotsman and a coconut? Who can get a drink out of a coconut? So, I don't know why. I've got absolutely no idea why I thought of it just as I was reading it out. But, hands up if you watch The Chase. If you watch The Chase, it's on at 5 o'clock weekdays. And given the fact that we keep early hours at Rabbit Towers, which that rhymes, doesn't it? We like to make sure that we're all organised and sorted out and sat down and assembled in the lounge to watch The Chase while we eat our tea. So I quite often do, and when we do a premiere at 6:15, I quite often premiere while I'm watching the final. So what on earth? I like Bradley Walsh too, and I think he's nice. I think he's funny. What on earth was that Beat the Chasers thing that they had on last week? Huh? Number one, that quiz, that lingo thing that they put on at 5 o'clock instead was absolutely rubbish. And number two, I didn't really like Beat the Chasers either. It had gone all sort of Saturday tea time telly. So, well, that got a thumbs down. That got a... It got one of them. Yeah, we don't like that. So we breathed a sigh of relief yesterday when it was back on. We were pleased. We were pleased that we got Bradley back where he should be. Got Bradley back on the telly. Right, my lovelies. I think that's it. I think we've reached the end of another week on Brew at 2. Let me just see if I can find my spectacles. See if I can find my spectacles. Bradley, Eric doesn't watch television, so he's not sure who Bradley Walsh is. And Matt says he thinks that Beat the Chasers is better. Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I like proper chase. Yes, proper chase for me. Right, my loves. That's it then. That's it for another week. Oh, do you know, that's amazing how much clearer that is. Oh, I've got some new specs as well. I've got some new specs, but they're not here. I'll show you next week. I've got some Reptilite sunglasses ones for when I'm out vlogging on a sunny day. So we shall finish, as is customary, with our lovely poem by Spike Milligan. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realised I passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel round the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic, quick, and get the world infected. See you next week. Don't forget to join the Facebook group. Bye for now.